There's been so much going on in the celeb world. Let's dive into what's been going on in the influencer world. Things have gotten kind of weird and nostalgic, with memories of certain things slipping away from people. There's conversations surrounding Jeffree and Trisha reconnecting, to Trisha seemingly liking the idea of Frenemies returning. It's a whole mess, but there's been responses to all of this that we must talk about. Because I mean, Jeffree is even posting photos of him and Trisha on his Instagram story, feeding into the curiosity as to what in the world is going on and what in the world is about to happen. And what I'll say is that fans definitely are not happy about it. Fans seem kind of worried, not wanting Trisha to revisit her past, at least not with Jeffree after all he's said about her, and the fact that she's thriving right now and hasn't been in drama in a long while. They feel it's best she stays away. But we'll get into everything that's come out and what's been said. But before we get into anything, I want to let you guys know that today's video is sponsored by Love and Pies. I told you guys about this app before. I'm still loving this game. Literally any second that I have like a little break or just want to like brain rot, this is the game that I'm playing on my phone. Love and Pies is the cutest baking game. I cannot recommend it enough, you guys. I literally love playing it while I'm watching TV or just sitting in my bed. I get super invested in the challenges and the storyline going on, just trying to match ingredients to cook up everyone's order in order to earn tips, and finance creating the cafe of your dreams. The game follows Amelia, who is a single mother, and she is inheriting her mother's burnt down cafe. You're basically going to redecorate this growing business while uncovering the mystery behind her mother's disappearance and the cafe's fire. The small town in this game is filled with gossip and unexpected romance, which is obviously something we love to talk about on this channel. But you get to completely customize the cafe along the way, and honestly, it's unlike anything I've played before and truly have enjoyed getting into this world. And right now, they've also launched their brand new Gothic Pass, where you can save a former mansion from demolition and restore it to its former glory. The Gothic Pass is live between April 20th and May 13th, and you don't want to miss out on this. So be sure to download Love and Pies today so you can join in on this extra adventure. Everyone that downloads Love and Pies within 1 week using my link below and plays to day 3 will receive a absolutely amazing free gift via the in-game inbox message, 200 energy and 50 gems, and you will find out very quickly how important those are in the game. So download for free via my link in the description and get your super sweet surprise gift delivered to your inbox now. And thanks to Love and Pies for sponsoring this video. Download Love and Pies for free now, and let's get into the news. To get into what has been going on, this sort of dates back a few weeks to when Trisha Paytas talked on her podcast about Coachella. In the midst of her talking about this with her co-host Oscar, Dramageddon was brought up, the feud between James Charles, Tati Westbrook, and James Charles. And in talking about this, Trisha said that she would have Jeffree Star on her podcast.
I would, some part of me sometimes is like, God, I would love to like talk to him, like have him on the podcast, but I'm just also like, is that a bad idea? Like, you know, I don't know. I feel like, was our falling out bad? I don't know. Sometimes I don't remember either. Like, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, wait, sometimes I forget.
I
forget. I remember, but you know, sometimes you forget the severity of something.
Totally, yeah. I don't know either.
Like, is it like inviting like to me it wasn't even toxic. So I'm like, is this? But I'm like, God, I would like to know like what his life is like now in like Wyoming, or are we just past that point? I mean, me and Shane are past that point, but I feel like me and Jeffree, I don't know.
Fans wondered if this was actually something that was going to be a reality because Jeffree ended up sharing old photos of him and Trisha on his Instagram story out of nowhere without any context. And this whole thing was just really weird to people given where they left off, which was just not on good terms at all. People wanted to know what it meant. Was he just feeding into her talking about him or what? Because truly, the last time she talked about him, things didn't go very well. Some wondered if it was possible that he was sort of posting these and trying to make it seem like he was on good terms with Trisha because she is doing really well right now and a lot of people like her. But whatever his messy intentions were, fans were letting Trisha know that they didn't want to see an episode with Jeffree after everything in his past and his history of being a bad friend to her, talking bad about her behind her back, making fun of her, and letting his employees also talk badly about her. Plus, last year, the two of them got into some drama because Trisha was trying to be nice on a podcast and say that she didn't even remember what happened between her and Jeffree in an effort to try and keep the peace. But unfortunately, this caused Jeffree to completely go off on her and try to rewrite history. After he saw Trisha say that she didn't really remember what happened between the two of them, he posted a whole video saying that Trisha made up lies about him and tried to ruin him.
You don't remember if we had beef? You don't remember how we had a falling out? literally made up the most vicious lies about me and tried to ruin my life. And at the time, everyone was bored and people entertained her lies. It was so horrible for my mental health. And this says you don't remember. That's crazy!
But the thing is that everything that was revealed about Trisha and Jeffree's friendship being over came from people close to Jeffree. His own friends and employees were the ones who exposed his true colors and confirmed that he had in fact let people talk down to Trisha and participated in conversations himself. Trisha tried to keep quiet about their falling out for a long while, and she still stuck by him and Shane through their massive cancellations, and got so much backlash for doing so. It wasn't until Jeffree's wig guy Hair by Jay came out to totally go off on Trisha, calling her all these names, shaming her, all of this on a live, that Trisha then came out to confirm all of this to be true and that her and Jeffree weren't friends. She didn't set out to ruin him, he essentially looked bad all on his own. And he was looking bad once again last September when he was going off on her in this way, and fans clearly remembered what actually happened. And so the last thing they want to see is Trisha give him a chance and sit down with him for her podcast. Trisha did end up bringing the fact that he posted these photos of the two of them on his Instagram story.
Jeffree posted me on his Instagram story. I just saw Rich Lex being like, are they friends? Are they hanging out? It's first of all, it's an old photo.
Yeah.
But it is funny. It's so weird. It's such a, but then you start spiraling in conspiracies. You're like, why did they post this picture?
It was really odd though. It was like the timing was just so.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like no context, right?
It is crazy because it's like, it was fun. Like I look at that picture and I remember like we went to Taco Bell and I was like, I did have so much fun with him, like Jeffree. And I'm like, you do fall into it because, you know, time passes and whatever. And I think me and Jeffree's like friendship was like more surface level than like me and Shane. So like it kind of, whatever. It's the falling out wasn't as much. It didn't impact as much. Nostalgia will get you. And you're like, yeah, maybe it wasn't that bad. But I always think if you're doing good where you're at, don't need to like go back. I'm not saying that about Jeffree because I honestly like Jeffree, like I said, we're kind of like surface level and I don't know.
It seemed like she was still open to the possibility of being on good terms with him, as looking back, she felt like what happened between them wasn't as bad as her falling out with Shane Dawson. But she did note that when fans hear about this idea that she has of reuniting with Jeffree, they're against it.
If we reached out, would you have a reunion with Jeffree?
I know. We talked about this before, and in the comments I was like, no. And I was like, I don't know. I'm so like on the fence with it. Because it's like, because my main issue was like, it was like a Jeffree's like acquaintance. It wasn't really like Jeffree, you know. I guess I had a little bit with Jeffree, but it was, you know, again, surface level, I guess. I don't know.
I get it. And there's not like as much history between the two of you. It's like almost easier to forgive because it didn't go like that deep.
Yeah,
you know, like
it was never that deep. Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to like go past stuff.
I have a little soft spot for Jeffree when I see him on like TikTok and his little yak farm. I'm like, okay, like living your life out there in Montana. Like,
though fans seem to think that the history between the two of them is definitely a lot more intense than she's remembering it to be. But on the same note of going down memory lane and talks of revisiting the past, a conversation about frenemies got started after Trisha had liked a comment on TikTok where someone said, bring frenemies back. She later unliked it, but this was something that was brought up on H3 as people wanted to know Ethan's thoughts on this whole thing.
Oh, there's nothing bad. It's just interesting. Bring back frenemies. Bring frenemies back. She liked it. Yeah. But, so hold on. This was up, as I understand it, for a few hours. Mm-hmm. Then she unliked it.
She did.
What do you think happened? Do you think that she stuck her neck out and genuinely, and then she's like, oh, I'm nervous and unliked it? Or was it an accident?
I think the first option's beautiful.
I think she was, I think genuinely, I think she was being sincere. And then she was like, you know what, I just don't want to deal with, you know, overthinking it and then people making a big deal about it. Just let me just not.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, wait, is that possible? But then I was like, not really. It's just, it would be big.
Oh, yeah.
And we're both parents now. Isn't that great? Like how much, you know, how much have we matured, I think, since frenemies fell apart? I mean, we're both different people. Oh my God, ew. By now, you know.
Ethan went on to say that it's sad to think about all of this because of the fact that they're family and don't get along.
It is quite up to think about it. It's our kids are cousins
and close in age.
We live in the same city. I mean,
and adorable.
It's horrible. I mean, it sucks. It's horrible.
It does.
I feel because whatever. It's not up to me.
Ethan said that this was not happening, Frenemies was not coming back, but he did talk about a hypothetical of how it would go if they did.
But when I saw her like that, for the first time since it ended, I thought like, damn, what if? But here, if we did it, there'd have to be rules. There'd have to be rules. Rule number 1, we cannot talk about anything that happened on the show before. That's over. Rule number 2, no pizza. Those are the ground rules.
He takes that 5%.
Bill Burr ruined Ethan's life. Yeah, you guys forgot. It wasn't Trisha. It was Bill Burr that ruined my life. I guess I just miss my old friend. Anyway, whatever. But in truth, we're both doing well on our own.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for her new podcast is doing really, really well.
Now, Trisha didn't address liking the comment, but in her same podcast talking about Jeffree and nostalgia and forgetting things from long ago, she had mentioned having to make a list the other day to remind herself of why she didn't like someone, and I kind of wonder if it was about Ethan.
And then sometimes you have to remind yourself. The other day I had to make a list reminding myself of all the reasons I don't like someone. I was like, let me just make a list real quick because, you know,
It's hard.
the nostalgia will get you. And you're like, yeah, maybe it wasn't
Could have
that
been,
bad,
but who knows? Anyway, that is what has been going on as of recent. That kind of had fans worried, but also had some excited at the thought of Frenemies, though it seems very unlikely that it will return. But I want to know what you guys think about all of this, from Trisha looking back on her relationship with Jeffree to Jeffree randomly deciding to be messy and post photos of him and Trisha as if they'd never had drama in the first place, to the whole frenemy situation. Let me know all your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.